Greetings everyone, please take a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Do know as well, I don't know how long I'll be live streaming today. I threw out my back yesterday. Well, it's much better now. I can't guarantee that I can do the entire live stream like I've been usually doing. But we'll see how long I can go for at least. Looks like everything is booting on up. There we go, that's all booted on up. Connect the live chat windows. There we go, that's booted on up. Additionally, there's been some sort of recent update. Now one of the players have a line through their name, so not much I can do about that. Maybe I should mention that when I start the actual recording, the local recording to be uploaded to YouTube. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars by Web replays. On the south side is the Orange Star Sammy, we got Hudge. On the north side is Blue Moon Adder, we got Sulk. Sock? Sulk. I have no idea. Do note as well, there's been some sort of recent update to the website, so now one of the two names have a line going through them. Not exactly sure why it's going like that. Additionally, I've also downloaded some extra plugins to play around with. One to show that the capture progress on the, tab up here. Additionally, I've also added an autoplay feature, so let's see how well that goes. Looks like it did not keep my value there. Good to know. Ah, crap. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. This is what I usually set for on the advanced, on the Days of Ruins, which does give about a pace. Somebody mentioned that it's set at 554 on Tiny Wars Days of Ruin. And I think that's about right, where it sort of just go through each one at a time, with minimal downtime between. Could speed it up. And of course, I need to get a spam bot on kick. And while the start of the game going, I can take time and ban that spam bot. Of course, this is a high funds game, so both players are starting quite quickly with their initial airport. Zombie does have, of course, +1 movement range for transports. Nice little benefit for her to help move around the infantry quite nicely. So she's gone for double transport. Adder's gone for the early battlecopter. Of course, some does lose 10% firepower on all other units, barring foot soldiers, which is not great, but it's not too terribly bad. After all, battlecopter is still quite good. We do have Adder on anti-air right here, but of course it's out of range of the T-copter, double anti-air with artillery up north now. I always forget how fast high funds game go. They go pretty aggressive, pretty quickly with all the assets. We have anti-air on both sides. Of course, this mount here will cause some issues in forest, so it's going to be hard to go down south. Sun was just going to make an opportunity to grab this airport there. The amount of anti-airs nearby is not exactly great, but Adder could try locking the airport with a missile, but that would of course be a bit of a slowdown, and forcing missile spawn would greatly slow things down, of course. I wonder if either player would do that. Of course, got the anti-airs heading up north of battlecopter and the tank hitting the center. Decopter, more battlecopter, infantry, tank. Hits the infantry there, artillery in range of the airport. That's why you don't need missile locked on the airport. You can just simply hit the infantry unit there with the artillery. But of course, it's semi-infantry. I wonder if we can take a quick look. Let's see. It may not interrupt. Leaving 2 health or 3 health behind will leave 2 health or 3 health left over, and that would be improved capture up to... Yeah, and so it's plus 50%, so leave with 1 capture progress, right? I always forget. Round up or round down? I can't actually remember off my head. I don't really cast saving all too often. Of course, got a pair of 8th year down south. Yeah, looks like the autoplay. I can keep getting a little distracted because some other things are popping on up. Of course, my back's a little bit hurting the moment, so I'm a little bit distracting right now. So I'm trying to break through open here. They've got a tank and battle copter right there. And here does receive a hit there from the tank and does load the infantry unit there inside of the transport. Couple tanks there. Got good core tanks. We got Neo tank deployed by Adder. Ranges the infantry there, strikes the infantry there, willing to risk the artillery there, and got some infantry units to push on forward. The transport could heading down south to pick up another infantry, go to the airport. What's got a good number of tanks and artillery, tanks in the interior here with 1 Neo tank reserve, so both players have Neo tank on this side of the map. Adder has his side slipping out to greatly improve his movement range. A nice line of tanks here, but of course this reinforced Neo tank will easily equalize that region. Sammy feels like she's in a position right now. Has 40,000 income versus 36, so 2 property advantage. Get some hits there. New tank heading up north, striking the pipe seam once again. Battlecruiser could sack us out, hit that artillery, but then it of course will be hit by the anti-air. Another Neo tank here. Battlecopter artillery, so large amounts of artillery there. Sammy's just going to suffer the penalty. Adder, of course, has gone for bomber. Another mech up here. That's usually Sammy's job to build mechs, not Adder's. But then again, Adder is pretty good with mechs with his side slip and greatly improve their range by grand total 50%. Another Neo tank going field, as well as more in here. Neo tank and tanks pushing forward. Another Neo tank advancing. Strikes the pipe seam there. 10 health remaining. Sam could take time to start capture the airport slowly. Quite a bit different army here. We've got quite a bit of battle copters and of course a full bomber here. I think Sam needs eye for a fighter. She does go for another battle copter and tank. Another Neo tank here as well. Don't know if 3 tiers is quite decent. Probably adequate enough. Adder can of course zone out Sammy a little bit more easily with the side slip. Just needs to stay out of range by 1 tile and then up the power and be in range. Another Neo tank infantry does hit the pipe scene, starting to flip or capture the airport there. She's not Andy, she knows what an airport is. 4 capture progress per turn, so making decent progress there. Somebody tells me it'll be 1 turn away and she pops her victory march. Pipe seam right now has 72 health, so it's nowhere near going down. Adder is pushing forward decent amount of infantry, mech in reserve. Adder has a significant force here, and now got a bit of front rotation. He has a significant amount of tanks rotating around. Of course, got the Neo tank here. Oh, perfect. I can use pause to stop the autoplay. That's good to know. Takes the pipe seam there. And the autoplay did it so quickly it shook the pipe, broke the pipe seam, which I found that a bit amusing. But Sammy's actually going hyper aggressive this direction. This is a lab map. He's also going to start posing a threat to the comm tower, and getting 2 comm towers of difference will definitely be quite beneficial to her. Howdy. Pipe seams take some damage there. Go strike the pipe seam there. Overall, no massive engagement, just sort of establish front lines. Of course, Adder has his power. Double time will increase the movement speed of Sammy's infantry, which is nice and all, but probably not exactly adequate in this situation. High funds, due to the fact that it's more of a not infantry game at this moment. Same does have a decent amount of artillery at the moment. Right now she has 3 artillery pieces, a little bit less than I was actually expecting. But right now, Sammy does have 370,000 field, so 3,200. I can't speak right now. We've got a pretty sizable engagement there. He does pop the superpower. So we're now going to just do coverage move individually. Battlecopter pushing forward, strike there onto the pipe scene. Infantry, here strikes the infantry. Takes out the battlecopter there. Yeah, I think it's better for me to not use the autoplay function. I think I do better without it. Does get a good strike there. Neo tank strikes the regular tank. Hits the infantry. They're not a great target for the Neo tank, but does hit the anti-air. Try and clip the anti-air to allow his aircraft more free reign. Or still got the single fire, but that fighter can only take out one target, likely the bomber. Upward strikes there. Tank strikes the infantry. Plus he's just generally moving forward. Anti-air. Multiple anti-air, another fighter deployed by Adder, and Simon working for Victory March actually goes for just a double time. I'm not so sure what she's eyeing. I would assume Victory March is just instant, you go for that rather than the power, if you have it. And she will of course get global +10/+10, has kept both comm towers, so she's got additional +30/+30 globally. Or some -10%, effectively is +20/+30, which is quite good still. Add, of course, is a +10/+10 at the moment. Getting some good damage across the front line. Strikes the tank there. Does take another tank. Infantry hits there. We'll finish it off right there. Neo tank strikes regular tank rather than Neo tank. I'm not so sure about that. Artillery strikes the multiple tanks there, trying to soften up. Mech gets a pretty good hit there on the regular tank. There's another tank there, hits the battlecopter. Fighter does strike the bomber, one-shots it. It gets some damage across the multiple units. Neo tank, fighter, infantry. Let's see now. Adder starts turn 245. The same is turn 334. So it looks like Sammy's in a good position. Does double tap the Neo tank quite nicely. He may get a power there, which will allow his anti-air to range the fighter. He immediately pops the power. Then either go for the additional power charge. May have been a good idea to get some power charge before popping the power. On units that didn't require the pulse from range, but does strike some units there. Takes on the tank there. Gets to the anti-air. The machine guns down the artillery. Or machine guns at least, not down. Battlecopter hits battlecopter, does a fair amount of damage there. Another fighter heading down south of the winter. It looks like he's just pulling back across the other flank. Anti-air tank, mega tank up here. Of course, the bomber still poses a threat. Sammy does have an effective +10% firepower the motor for that bomber, which is still perfectly fine. Well, it's above perfectly fine since it's +10 rather than -10 in total. And also, she's not going to keep give up this comm tower, so she has a general advantage. When the battlecopter strikes the battlecopter, you use the rest of the anti-air to finish off that battlecopter and there as well. She may be able to squeeze out a victory march this turn. Don't know if that'll be super useful, but she is moving infantry now, so probably a good idea not to go for it. Medium tank does get struck by artillery. Neo tanks push up north, does get a good strike there. The fighter heading up north. Something I noticed as well, the chat window's a little bit too high. Okay. Good strike there, takes out the bomber. Of course, Sammy has her victory march. Pops immediately at power mid-turn. Let's see how useful it will be. Pulls back the Neo Tank, strikes the ATR. Loose sacks a tank there. Does take out the unit there. Strikes the fighter quite nicely. Neo Tank strikes Neo Tank. Sam does have a good pair of Neo Tanks still in this region. Anti-air battlecraft infantry Neo Tank. And we've got the full victory march now. She needs to capture a good number of properties, of course, with it. There's one. There's two. And high funds match. This will, of course, get her quite a bit of funds. Right now she's at 215 versus 255. So she is about a turn behind the moment. Perseverance units that goes for another full fighter down south. And use the wounded fires to strike battlecopters. Takes out the battlecopter with the Neo Tank. Takes out that one there. But the other Neo Tank strikes. The Neo Tank goes for another Neo Tank down south. Now she has 50,000 income versus 38,000. Bomber does strike the Neo Tank. Uses the medium to strike the not Neo Tank, Mega Tank, and got a good amount of damage. Equal damage is pretty good. Mega Tank gets finished off by a Neo Tank. Battlecopter gets struck as well. And does strike some outlying units there. Doesn't know what captures the rest of his turn. So overall, not a super powerful Victor March for Gal, like 2 or 3 captures, which is still nice. Every matter if it does count. In the high funds, it's a little bit higher, of course, per capture. Bomber will get knocked out, but of course, oh, goes another Mega Tank there. Zombie could take out the ATR, then strike the Mega Tank, or not Mega Tank, Neo Tank. Looks like Ada's pulling back to the center. It's still pretty even right now. Okay, so the ATR, artillery as well. Neo Tank strikes Neo Tank. Neo Tank finish off Neo Tank and will block the Mega Tank with a regular tank. Excellent. And use the wounded fire to protect the healthy fighter as well from this ATR. Couple good blocks there. If you're going to lose, take a serious hit. Might as well minimize the damage you receive. Sack something that's insignificant as opposed to take a deadly hit. Or in this case, a battlecopter. Or it could take time to merge the 4 health and 3 health fighter together if one's running low on fuel. Mega Tank base locks himself there, does hit the mech with the ATR, and hits the resign button now. The Zangrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to next replay. I'll give you a moment. I'm not super satisfied with some of my plugins I installed. Also felt like a little bit of lag spike, so give me a moment to adjust some of the plugins I have. Auto plays pause. Replay mode, full game, last turn. Yeah, I think it's better if I just turn off, don't use the autoplay at the moment. Also seems like I got a couple more lag spikes than normal. So let's go ahead and go on to the next replay now. I'm going to adjust the map as well as my live stream. And let's see, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars iWeb replay. It's on the north side as the, what's this called, the new one? Umbra Wilds, Lash, we got Mahav Jess. On the south side as the Purple Lightning Jess, we got Thaner. I don't know how to pronounce any of these names. But we do have an early APC. This is a high funds game, so extra monies to be put into bags. And my apologies for those who are watching this on YouTube as well as live stream. There's been some sort of update there where one of the players have a line through their name when expecting a replay. I'm not sure why. That wasn't like that beforehand, and I don't know how to get rid of it. We have an early medium tank on the field. Of course, Jess is the ground commander. She does offer some firepower on all ground vehicles. All other units, excluding foot soldiers, lose 10% firepower. There is supposed to be one comm tower. Nope, there's two comm towers for both sides. So this one's a bit more contestable. But based on the movements, you can see that this one's it goes south and northwards when it comes to availability. Both sides now have a medium tank in the field. Both sides have artillery as well. Lash, of course, gets plus 10% firepower per defense star, which is nice, but nothing too significant, honestly. It generally means she gets plus 10% firepower from just simply attacking from planes, with some exceptions. Well, many exceptions. Got a Neo tank up north for Lash, as well as down south by Jess. There's a number of forts and fields, so we could possibly see terrain tactics as a possibility if she really wants increased mobility to going through the forts. There is a fair number of them on the field. We got more Neo tanks in the field. Does strike the artillery there. Another Neo tank, another tank, and an infantry unit there. Wait a second, is this no? Oh yeah, there is an airport on the map. So got some early picks there by Jess. Of course, the Lash did a good hit there in the artillery. Now this artillery is in range of this medium tank. There's a Neo tank, but the Neo tank can't really advance forward to strike the medium tank. It'll be in range of the opponent's Neo tank. Though if she somehow squeezes out a power, then the Neo tank may be able to sprint across the forest and hit it after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So terrain tactics could be useful this turn. Nope, that's overcharge rather than terrain tactics. If she strikes there, does use the medium tank to strike the medium tank. And no terrain tactics to charge the Neo tank forward. Of course, there's a bomber on the field now. Jess or Lash has deployed out a fire to counter. Artillery got a decent shot on the medium tank. Goes for a full overdrive already. I always forget how quick the high funds go. And managed to range the Neo tank. Got terrain tactics next turn, which could be useful to have the artillery strike the Neo tank or the Neo tank. Probably a good idea to hit the Neo tank. Use artillery to strike the Neo tank there, so she's not popping her prime tactics. Neo tank, or an 8 here. Lash's turn. Bomber advancing, strikes the infantry unit there. It looks like overall Jess has fallen back. Neo tank's in range. Neo tank. Of course, on 3 defense star city, but a terrain tactic would give the Neo tank not only plus troops and firepower from beyond top of planes, but also another 10% activation power, so it'd be effectively no difference in hitting it on a road, and not necessarily, far from it. And Lash is not claiming the other comm tower, so She's falling behind there. Just could try interrupting it, but it will be a sacrifice of the unit. Looks like she's going to push forward the tank there. Neo tank strikes the unit there. Interrupts the capture there. Feels like Jesse's in a pretty good position right now. They have similar values at the moment, so it can go still either way. Got Neo tank down south, and there's the prime tactics. See, artillery's not in range of anything, so I'm not sure exactly where she's going to be eyeing. She could probably take out this tank there to get a massive boost strike onto that Neo tank. Finish off there, and she will get a pretty good booster strike there. There's probably going to be a overdrive next turn. Takes the APC. APC itself almost out of fuel. Apparently does not know how to refuel itself, just others. Battlecopter, Neo tank, infantry. Prime tactic was not too terribly powerful, but it is pretty good at providing defense afterwards. It's not the artillery there, it hits another infantry unit, survives thanks to prime tactics. Of course, just on 2 counters, Lash is only 1. The APC does get struck by 3 health artillery. Anti-air tank and Neo tank. Anti-air gets struck. We do have now another overdrive available. Infantry unit goes down. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Of course, still got the bomber here. The fighter is getting pretty close. Yeah, even with overdrive or overcharge, there's no chance of that anti-air to strike that fighter. Bomber, artillery, infantry, recon. Lash making a little bit desperate if she's trying to recon. But there's plenty of traversable land down here after shores effectively equal the roads, so there's a bit of sea there in between. We got turbocharge. Turbocharge, of course, is going to do a 1-2 punch, but she has almost enough charge left over for another turbocharge as well, so she'll get her 1-2 charge punch. Takes out the Neo tank. Terrain tactics now available. Tank does strike tank, tank strikes tank. Artillery strikes infantry unit there. That 3 up artillery has been safing around for quite some time. Good damage there. Strikes the infantry unit there. Finish off the infantry unit. Capturing the city there, and pops the prime tactics mid-turn. The bomb is effectively knocked out. Probably survived thanks to the plus 10% defense bonus from activating the power superpower. That's just pushing pretty far forward. Now the Neo tank forward. Got another artillery. Ends the turn of 184,000. She has a pretty good advantage. Just has 135, so she's about what, a turn behind. But it's her turn. The front lines have collapsed on each other, so a lot of easy targets. Does not take the fighter there, but can at least finish off the 1 health bomber. Or nope. Oh, maybe can finish off the 1 health bomber. Neo takes very forward, strikes the wounded infantry unit there, takes the P4 up infantry unit there. Good strike from high ground. Does not take out that infantry unit there, but 1 health is not exactly effective anymore. Fighter, medium tank, infantry. Good shots there. Takes out the Neo tank, so we got another overdrive available. Recon strikes infantry. Tank finishes off Neo tank. Neo tank strikes infantry. Think our APC does fall back there. Jess's turn. She does have her overdrive and pops the overdrive. My apologies, need to open up my tree. It will be striking the infantry in there. Strikes the Neo tank there. Almost knocking out. Lash sells ATR in the bomb in the region, but it's not too much other supporting units. Even takes time to machine gun the Neo tank. Does not take it out there. Probably close to getting to 1% health now. Even taking time to take multiple machine gun shots against the Neo tanks. Regular tank strikes Neo tank, leaving it at 1 health. At this point in time, it feels like both players wish they're playing Andy. You hear Neo tank. Bomber takes out the Neo tank. Infantry finish off the... Oh, does not finish off the battlecopter. Hey, we got a midterm terrain tactics. Lash must be getting a little bit panicky if she's trying to go for terrain tactics. It will give her perfect movement. There's a Neo tank and anti-air. Try to finish off bomb or battlecopter. Managed to get wounded there. Does not take out that infantry there. Bomber, infantry, anti-air. Lash ends turn of 160. Jess starts turn of 125, so Jess is still behind. Finish off with bomber. Fighter takes the bomber there. A lot of juicy targets going down for Lash. Completely surrounds the Neo tank. This anti-air maybe will just free the Neo tank. Anti-air Neo tank battlecopter infantry. Well, fire does finish another 1 health bomber. Anti-air strikes the fighter. He drops the capture there. Right now, Lash, both players at 38,000. So got some despicable neutral profit center. Lash is still down 1 comm tower this entire game. Neo tank, battlecopter, infantry. Instead of 164, just returned to 144. Another turbo charge now available. Takes out the Neo tank with a 5 health infantry. Of course, let's get that tank in range. Anti-air Neo tank. And we've got another terrain tactics. Lash is trying to finish the game sooner rather than later. Takes out that unit there, puts 1 health fighter on top of the city. The 1 health fighter has 5 fuel remaining, which so likely it will burn itself up next turn. Consumes 5 fuel today, last time I checked. Another Neo tank. Artillery, battlecopter, infantry. And here comes another, could be a turbo charge for 1-2 punch or full overdrive. Got the turbo charge. Good damage on both those units. Of course, got the anti-air. The artillery's out of range, anything that's ground. Neo tank, anti-air, and artillery. And the fighter does get blown up due to lack of fuel. After the property out takes the battle copter. Neo Tank strikes Neo Tank. And does fully surround that fighter. Strikes on those units there. Neo Tank strikes Neo Tank and does use another turbocharge, the 1-2 punch. Neo Tank battlecopter infantry. Neo Tank does strike the A-tier, and that A-tier as well. Another terrain tactics. Will Lash go for it once again? Let's get that back, Neo Tank there, and sort of machine guns off the artillery. Got a full Mega Tank by Lash now. Tank infantry, Mega Tank. Lash turns 155, just starts turning 150, so pretty even. Of course, we got multiple Neo Tanks on the flank here. We may see a prime tactics next turn. All the artillery pieces went down. Just leaving one at 5 health. Lash is taking a significant amount of hits. Bomber, infantry. And not going for... not sure what to do late prime tactics unless she's going to resign. I assume hitting the Neo Tank would be a better target. Let's give a shot there on that Neo Tank. Fighter, medium tank, infantry. And resign. So it was a resign. This Android saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Adjust the stream. That looks good. And you gave me a moment. My back's starting to aggravate myself. I just need to get a bit of... My apologies, I had to get something for my back. Ugh. Starting to get aggravated right now, but let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the south side as the Blue Moon Jess, we got Muji 6. On the north side as Orange Star Jake, we got Papa Holly. Probably butchered that name well enough. He did wait his lander, you monster. Double infantry unit there. Of course, both players do start with 1 health recon for spotting, as well as a 1 health black bolt, which could be used for either boosting or for repairing. There's also a reef in the middle of that little pond to hide itself. But it does have 2 shores on that little sea there, so you can boost stuff across the river. Infantry, artillery. So, just some artillery. Artillery gets, of course, plus 10% firepower since this is a ground vehicle. Jake's artillery can get plus 10% firepower if it's on top of attacking from planes, so that's a great thing for artillery beyond. In a fog war match, ideally in a forest would be good for them. So, for his power and or superpower, he can get plus 1 indirect range for them, which is quite unusual, but very warm welcome. Jake's force is more of a superpower CO, since he gets for his bonus of plus 10% firepower planes for 10, 20, and then 40. And for his mobility, you got 0, 0, and then plus 2 for his ground units. And of course, he gets plus 1 indirect range as well as plus 1 indirect range. So that is not necessarily skill per power, so it's a little bit of a mixed bag of abilities. But he can be quite nice. He's also quite comparable to Jess in some aspects, since it is also a bit more focused on ground focus, but his battlecopter still get the boosted damage. He is, of course, keeping out of range for the 4s of possible artillery. Good on him. Does have the recon, at least from this side. You can just fall back to this force here to be even more of a problem. He does spot the recon right there. Good strike down artillery, does manage to range it thanks to spotting this artillery or tank as well. He decided to put the recon on top of the city there just to spot stuff. He will take on finish off rather than ignore it and go straight for the cities. The artillery can fall back in far side HQ, get a bit of repairs going. Decides to go on top of the city, which can give him more repairs. 2 health is better than 1. Does get trapped on the left side. Jess has pushed pretty far forward on both flanks with infantry. Now has 15,000 versus 15,000 income. Will interrupt this capture though. Tank infantry, tank, so got multiple tanks. Howdy. Does double tap that tank there, knocking it out. And we'll start catching up the comm tower. Black boat has been pulled off the HQ. Let's go pin some good strikes here. 1 tank lurking in the woods, so the tank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If a power can range his tank, which could be possible. Recon, of course, while I did spot that other tank go in the woods. Does get trapped in the comm tower. So Jake will, of course, capture this comm tower first. Just not got him close to this comm tower. Takes out the recon, battlecopter infantry, another tank. Of course, this pipe scene does block some traffic. Does get a strike on that infantry unit there. Hits it twice, but the comm tower is captured. It could pull back the woods and try to counterattack for a interrupt. He wants to prolong its suffering. And again, both these guys are a little bit wounded, so would be not really interrupt. Trying to capture multiple properties there. Hits that infantry unit there, but is in range of this other tank that's out of vision range. And this infantry unit's on top of a mountain, so it's great spotting. Strikes the recon there, but went a little too far forward in range of artillery of 2 different units. Finish the recon there with the capturing. Does manage to strike the artillery there for the tank. Managed to squeeze a little bit farther. Was the tank the artillery a little bit farther back, but with power can of course plus 1 range, so keep an eye on the power. It is an impossibility. Does strike the infantry unit there. Hits the tank as well, and there. Takes out one tank. Falls up. Actually, this tank's out of vision range at the moment. That's quite important. Because now we could see it beat down next turn. Hits this tank quite well. Of course, it'll improve the plane's damage from 10 to 20%. I'll of course get plus 10 global. It can be quite nice to hit one of these tanks as well. And 2 tanks are in range, so I think it's actually time for a beatdown this turn. Get what damage you can before popping the power. Or power charge. If you do now the power being activated, beatdown. It's the infantry unit there. Tank will get a booster strike there. And if your wound finished off, hits the infantry unit there and finish it off. Got overdrive next turn, maybe better for 1-2 punch with turbocharge. Great damage and knocks out both those tanks. The artillery will be up to 5 health next turn, or 4 health next turn. Can be up to 5 health before firing, which is going to be quite nice. Of course, got the battlecopter nearby. But Jake right now has 1 comm tower, Jess has 0 comm towers, and Jake may get both comm towers. He does, Jess does go for the full overdrive. Strikes the anti-air. Infantry unit gets some damage there. May finish it off, does finish off. Wounded artillery strikes the tank there for some damage. No anti-air we can see. It's time to finish off the tank. This black bolt can be destroyed by the artillery next turn or by the 2 health tank. Nothing to stop the battlecopter though, but hitting the destroying the black bolt would allow angle on the artillery. Now Jake has both comm towers. Takes out the artillery. Battlecopter hits the battlecopter. Did miss the battlecopter here, so he had a counter to it. There's nothing in here counter. Finish off. Could take out the gunboat there of the artillery. So maybe better just reposition the artillery. Because right now the gunboat, honestly I don't think that's worth it. I think it's better to push forward the artillery to this tile here. Because it'll be a good time to push forward. The black bolt would not be able to repair anything and contribute very little at the moment, at this exact moment. So you should just finish up the infantry unit there, and we'll hit double tap that one there. Got a wounded infantry unit there to probably hold the ground. It's a 7 health infantry unit there. Good number of those units are going on down. Pretty good counterattack. Right now, Jake has 98,000. Jess and Surf 99, so they're pretty similar. And pulls back the tank there. Artillery as well. General retreat in the center. Not much this battlecraft can do with its AT in the region. Recon infantry. Get some of these outlying units there. Tank to strike tank. Very nice. 2 comm towers is being quite devastating, plus showing some firepower global. Whatever reposition there, got tank, recon, battlecopter, infantry. And it does get trapped there. Takes out the infantry unit there. Just some minor repositioning at the moment. And the battlecopter is heading down south. The lander, of course, falling back because of infantry units there. Recon strikes the capturing infantry. There's still that one despicable neutral property on the map right here. And trying to flip this property. Out of range the artillery at the moment. Safe bet to know the fact there's artillery there. The overpowered can range the other two infantry units there. Infantry, medium tank. It's the ATR quite nicely, and we'll finish off the oh, did not finish off the ATR there. If a beatdown probably would have. It does interrupt the cap there. Artillery is zoning the infantry. Some good hits there. Neo tanks out of range artillery. Nothing up here to really stop a Neo tank. Does get hit there. Our battlecopter strikes the tank. This part the artillery part knowing enters it. Does manage to get a good strike onto it. Making great headway up north. Got tank, battlecopter, recon, infantry. JKN's turn of 164,000, just as 110. Takes up the battlecopter there. Joint capture there will be fruitless since the artillery is in range. And now just going to activate for a turbocharge. Giving a plus 10 to firepower, additional firepower to all ground units. Of course, we have plus 10 global. And plus 1 movement range on all ground units while at it. Anti-air, recon, battlecopter, and base skip. Now got the block rock. Now he gets plus 2 movement range on all ground units, plus 1 indirect range for his indirect units, such as, well, doesn't really need the extra range, but does also get up to plus 40% additional firepower on the artillery, plus 10 global. Both players have 1 combat power at the moment, so I wonder how much damage this artillery will do that Neo tank. CPI, I can put it right there. That looks like a pretty good shot. Does immediately go for it. Battlecopter, finish off battlecopter. Regular tank strikes the Neo tank. Regular tank strikes the Neo tank. Finish off the capturing unit there. Tank strikes tank. Infantry rotating around. Tanks rotating around. Neo tank nukes the anti-air. Does have ranged artillery, which is only at 3 health though. Neo tank strikes the battlecopter for some odd reason. Knows all the Neo tanks. Not sure why. No one entering the range of the Neo tank. That seems like a bad idea to me. And we do have soon to be a 5 health artillery. Then again, it's not too much to spot here. Can't visually range that medium tank at the moment. Still doesn't seem a good idea to me. He knows what the medium tank close by the Neo tank. Go just try to scout forward for it. And looks gonna be just general pullback. It's not a too terrible idea. Still got this despicable neutral property here. It's a bit of a rotation around. Just ended turn for 109,000. Jake ends turn for 161. So he is about a little over a turn ahead. A turn and a half approximately right now. Tank infantry. Battlecopter strikes tank. Good shots there. Battlecopter, tank, recon, and artillery. Is he a good battlecopter strike on that one? And but Jess does go ahead and resign his grade, saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Let's see, I have anything left in me. My back's starting to get aggravated. Oh, that's the next one. This is the one I was thinking of. It's a different one I was thinking of. Well, let's go ahead and get this one going. Maybe we want to adjust everything. That should be fine enough. Greetings everyone, and right here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. It's on the north side as the Black Hole Adder. We've got Eo Star. Spawn or Ito Star. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's on the south side as the Gray Sky. And we've got X Old Man. There's a bit of disclaimer. I think there's some sort of patch to the website, and now there's some lines going between people's names. I'm not exactly sure what exactly it means. By the way, this map is a quadruple-based map, double HQ map. So I'm assuming if one player captures a HQ, you lose. In theory, if they want to have them capture both, they would be lab maps. So I think if they capture one HQ, you just outright lose. This is a 4-base map, triple airport map. This is not high funds, it's just standard funds, so this could be a very crazy map. I do see a good number of comm towers in theory. Both sides get 3 comm towers, and it seems like a good number of properties in the middle of the map as well. Yeah, there's coming from early mech on the right side. Now, getting closer inspection of this map, got a bunch of rivers on the side that only can only be deployed or deployed infantry as well as air units. And there's double river or a mountain river there, so mech spam may be necessary in this base there. It's gonna be hard to actually get constant usage from that one, honestly. So at least getting one infantry should be nice. Additionally, there's also a couple breaking pipe scenes here, which means you can deploy pipe runs there. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but I'm saying you can. And both, I should probably mention as well, both HQs do start out with a black hole on top of them. Early capturing game, got multiple infantries, got now a tank here, artillery ranging the pipe seam. Anti-air battlecopter. And the recon does get a strike there onto the mech, but serious damage onto the recon. Besides the counterattacks, you won't be able to finish the capture likely. Possibly could. So a good idea to retaliate. Another mech up north and an anti-air over here. Tank, recon, infantry. And he does pull back the recon. Could only get partial repairs and wait for power and or super power to get more repairs. Infantry, battlecopter, tank, infantry. Does strike the infantry there, then on to capture even further. Another tank, infantry. So Adder has gone for battle cover, but Andy has it here in that same side as well. Since the pipe seems not destroyed, you can see the status of the pipe seems through fog of war. And that one does go down. And now the airport's being captured. Mech, infantry, artillery, tank. Good hits there. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry, infantry. There's that infantry there. Of course, one compound has been claimed. Both players have claimed all three of the compounds. So firepower is particularly high. Of course, the Eos don't really boost up firepower, so they're going to have a bit more strength than normally would, which will of course change the map quite drastically. Imagine playing Grim, but you don't have weaknesses. That's how strong they are at the moment. Sure, I can change one of the colors. Switch Andy to Orange Star then. Be a bit more fitting for him. I suppose gray to purple versus gray to dark gray is not really the easiest spot sometimes. Infantry, infantry, battlecopter, tank, infantry. More hearts there on the infantry unit there. Oh, we got side slip activated there. Ankle strike tank. There's an infantry unit there. You're welcome. Artillery creeping their way forward. This is a pipe scene, so it's traversable. All these are shores. Actually, no, that's a sea pile. The other three are shores. Strikes infantry unit there. Max heading down south. Battlecopter, recon, infantry, recon, mech. And 80 almost has his hyper upgrade. Has his hyper upgrade. So you can charge forward, get some damage on some units, get that repaired on up. Pops it right now. We also get plus what? 10% additional firepower and plus 1 movement. Mention for activating power and superpower gives him plus 10 global. So the damage output when units are pretty high, but plus 1 movement range is always quite nice to have. Battlecopter, anti-air, tank, infantry, and infantry. Insert 110,000. Adder starts turn of 100,000, so Andy has ever so slight advantage. Seeing how many bases on this map is not neither side's able to tech up because they're just this map is quite wide and there's a large number of bases. So even just getting battlecopters actually can be a little bit difficult. Adder gets some good danger, has access to another side slip. And here. Tank anti-air. And another anti-air infantry. I've been stuck here by Adder. Nothing's hyper threatening. Tanks can easily take it out, but Andy doesn't have too many tanks in the field. It's actually a little bit difficult for both players to get out tanks with 4 bases. Does get a good strike there in the anti-air. And it does push around with the artillery. Interrupts the capture there. Right now it's 25,000 versus 24,000. Still a decent number of despicable neutral properties in the map. Good shot down the tanks there, so Andy feels taking a pretty sizable advantage at the moment. Tank, battlecopter, infantry, recon, mech has right now 121,000 field versus Adder's 96, so he's about a turn behind. And pops side slip. Takes out the battlecopter there. Let's hit the tank there. Battlecopter gets struck. Good damage on those units. You hear tank, mech, tank. Hits the battlecopter there. Tank does strike the tank. Infantry hits the infantry. Finish it off, and tank goes straight for the artillery. Artillery down below the field. Recon. Mech, battlecopter, infantry. He here does straight to take out the battlecopter. Infantry does get taken out. Couple good hits there. Tank hitting down south. Tank anti-air infantry. Strikes there. Couple hits there on the missile platforms. Tank will take out the recon, or not necessarily. It's the unit right there. Got now the full hyper upgrade to get some good non-repairs. And stays out of range of the wounded artillery while at it. Battlecopter, tank, recon, tank. Will park next to Blackbow to get a bit of resupply there. Mech does take up their recon. Does get some picks around those tanks. And if you have a full Sidewinder there on the field, in my opinion, generally go for a pair of side slippers better, unless you absolutely need the +1 extra movement range. You always can get 2 side slips in a row right now. Recon does take up the infantry there and there. Good shot there. Anti-air, tank, and infantry. Here comes a Sidewinder. Anti-air does the infantry and the battlecopter. Does hit the infantry there. Tank charges forward, hits the tank. Another tank hits the tank. And that one as well. Do have now hyper repair there. Takes the battlecopter. This Sidewinder is, of course, the entire superpower, not the 2 powers. Don't know if that's a great idea. Didn't really close enough attention to see if it needs extra move range, but definitely infantry could have used it. Just gets a bit of damage there, causes an econ off here, but took a bit more damage in return. Mech. Infantry, tank. They see hyper repair, but don't really need to see it. Andy right now has 80,000. Adder has a whole 132. Andy sort of lost a bit of steam. Mech will strike the anti-air there. Good shots there. Artillery does range the mech. Finish off there. Probably not a good idea to push forward the tank like that. Even on a 3-star property, there's still a number of mechs nearby. And next time we also see this tank that's out of vision range for Andy. Recon, tank, infantry, mech. Battlecopter, mech, infantry, and infantry. Andy has a superpower available. It starts to turn 84,000. Adder ends to turn 135. So Andy's about 2 turns behind at the moment, which is not great. Gets a couple good kills there. Battlecopter, mech, anti-air, tank, infantry. The superpower is still available, but would wait till next turn. Units get wounded but stay alive, they'd be grateful, but he's not keeping the units. Addison, good job picking up the wounded units because they're fully down. Recon, infantry, anti-air, and recon. See if Andy can make his use of superpower. It still gets combined +1 range and +10 some firepower. Good strikes there. Does spot some of these anti-air, which is a bit of a problem for Andy. Takes forward, anti-air as well. Strikes the mech. Of course, not got a mech in the woods, and mech right there. I think Andy's far overextending over here. It's going to get hit pretty hard. This is global leak, not live leak, so neither player is in time crunch. Recon, recon, mech, recon. So triple recon by Andy. Don't think I agree with that. I feel like he needs just more tanks on the left side. But this is more or less like a weak side, honestly. After all, we've got this base here, which takes long to get over here, and this base is just only infantry. Good damage to those units. Tank does get a good strike. And he lost pretty much everything over here. I thought he would. Of course, can get that artillery piece repaired on up. But that's pretty much it. There's a tank here he can wound himself upon before putting some power, but I'm not sure how Andy's supposed to turn this game around. Decides to pop the hyper upgrade now. This tank is in vision range, so he's able to range it with now 9 health unit. Does strike it for a good amount of damage. Mech is a good strike there. Finish off the artillery there. So we've got some good counterattacks over here. Medium tank, anti-air, infantry. This is the heaviest unit to see on the field this entire game, right? I don't think we've seen another medium tank this entire game, but we have now a side slip active. And medium tank also is a bit slow going. Got 2 forests get on out, and then of course another forest here, so it has to go across 3 forests, like if it was the Ardennes. Anti-air, tank, infantry, mech, battlecopter. Andy starts turn 76,000. Adder has 148. Good strike on the recon. Hits the tank there and there. Mech, infantry, battlecopter, infantry, anti-air, and resign button. As Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Right now, my back's starting to get aggravated. I'm going to try to do one more replay tonight. Find whichever one's best in my queue I have. And call it a day. My back's just getting a little bit aggravated. I pulled a muscle or something yesterday. A lot of lash games I have today. Wasn't sort of a big wave of lash. I think this replay is the best one I have on hand. This seems the most fun. Oh. There we go. Just trying to clean up the mini map there. Give me a moment to get everything adjusted. That seems good. So, let's go get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Small on the south side as the Green Earth Drake. We got Ito Star, still butchered his name well enough. Small on the north side as the Black Noir Eclipse. Flash, we got Lovi. You know as well, some sort of update the side causes one player to have a line through their name. Not so sure what caused it, I don't know how to remove it. It doesn't exist in the live games, of course. By the way. Got a recon up north. And a recon down south, so both sides going for early recon. We reckon order the area. plenty of roads in the area for recons to advance quite quickly. And double recon by Drake. Drake, of course, get minus 10% firepower on all... No, he only gets minus 30% firepower on all air units. His ground units are completely and utterly ordinary, which is perfectly fine. His transports get plus 1 movement range. Don't know if that'll make a difference in this game. It can, possibly. Lash gotta make sure to avoid keeping the black boat on top of the harbor, or she'll have to pay repairs for it, but she will have to occasionally get repairs for it when the tsunami and typhoon hit to get the fuel replaced. Another tank can now pull it up north. Recon should spot this, what's it call it? Infantry unit there and help interrupt the capture. Lash is now starting her capture. This recon's down south causes some issues. Both of Drake's recons down south. Got a tank heading down south of winter. Artillery, infantry. Address the capture there as well. We do have a mech dropped off there. Capture parts 4 remaining. Recon should be able to finish off with the plus 10% firepower on the planes. Maybe able to do finish off from the roads though. Here we can find out. Yep, it's guaranteed to get a kill from the planes, but from the roads, it will be a probably a luck roll, but it probably has already percentage damage onto it, so it's pretty safe to assume firing from on the road will kill off. Though if it does fire from roads, the mech will still be in range, so I'll probably just take it from the planes. Oh, it takes a shot against the mech rather than fully stop the capture, so purposely forfeits the comm tower there. Of course, of that, the infantry unit there had a same capture. The mech could not stay there to drop off, so the black boat couldn't drop off the infantry unit there. So that may have been calculated, but still, maybe better just go for the comm tower. Flash does not have the comm tower captured. Puts around one of those recons there, takes it out, even those on planes. Another tank on the field, infantry or recon infantry. So we've now got 3 tanks for Lash and 1 artillery heading the center. The artillery is in range of the city, so if Drake would have showed up the city, it would have been shelled. Recon mech tank. Here, tank infantry. Heading up north to capture some properties, interrupts the capture, but in range artillery. That's going to be a nice little pick for the artillery. Does spot the artillery at the last moment. Oops. But of course, quite a bit of infantry presence there for Drake. Lash needs some reinforcements down south. 1 is in range of the infantry unit there. It's a healthy one back here, but Lash should be able to win out this fight. First strike to artillery, maybe fall off of a tank. This tank's a bit far away though. Strikes the recon there, tank strikes tank, and machine guns down tank. Does not fully destroy the tank there. Artillery does get a good hit there onto the tank. The recon does finish off the infantry unit there very nicely. A good strike there as well. Here heading down south. Drake has to be very sparing with the battle copters. After all, minus 13 fire is quite significant, even with a comm tower to make it minus 20. I've seen a lot of stupid things from Drake's battle copters, how pathetic it can be sometimes. Let's just say he's no Greyfield when it comes to battle copters. Though, honestly, he's still better than Greyfield. After all, he has the ability to create storms to do global damage. Greyfield just resupplies everything for a superpower, which is a really lame superpower. Tiny Wars definitely gave him a massive powerful buff. And even then, he's still hardly ever seen. Set of range of the mech. Tank is quite wounded. Got multiple mechs here to throw opposing threat to the armored assets. Recon, tank, infantry, battlecopter. Drake's has turned to 81,000. Lashin's turned to 98, but she's being hit hard. We have a tsunami that could be activated with just cause some issues. Oh, he actually didn't use it. I was actually half expecting he won't go for it since he's more of a superpower CO. It does pop the superpower, or the regular power, just to cause some issues globally. Though, Lash does have a good number of units on top of properties. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A lot of funds, so she may not have any in-date funds next turn. Yeah, I'm thinking she's going to be having 12,000? No. I'm guessing 10,000 to bank. Oh, she didn't spend as much as I expected. He has almost 14,000. Some shots there. Decides not to take on the mech at the moment. Both tanks pushing their way forward. Tank does fall back there. Tank does strike the recon. Get some good hits there. And if you have a terrain text available, unlikely we'll see it unless she absolutely needs perfect movement. Which would be actually very nice for recon, since it could potentially give a +4 movement range across planes for them. Terrain tactic is best useful for recons, but still not really worth it for being 4 stars. It's highly situational, that power. And honestly, her superpower is a bit more the okay category. Her terrain tactic is a bit of an okay, but a bit of a minus okay. Lash mostly gets just carried by her day to day, which is quite nice, but just still on the okay aspect. But I'll say okay plus. Yes, this is a game between 2 players that was played, let's see, was finished on the 6th. Interior battlecopter infantry and base skip. Does hit the infantry unit there, and finish off the infantry unit. Does get a good hit there, and Mate does finish off there. Tank is out to sea there, but can be showed by the artillery piece. APC pushing way forward. Infantry, tank. Lash almost has her prime tactics, which could be quite nice, though left flank is basically gone. The right flank's not super great. Right now, Drake has 121,000. Lash starts to turn from 95, so not great on the field. She's about a turn or 2 behind, which is quite significant. Does get some great shots over here. Does get a pretty good sweep there. In fact, Drake has lost everything up north. But it's definitely not a good idea to pop her to prime text at the moment, because she has nothing to really use it against. We're starting to get some more battlecopters pulling the field, but of course they're not really affected by terrain tactics or prime tactics, unless they're on top of the airport. If they're on top of the airport, something's gone either very wrong or very right. Most time, very wrong. And you've got a Neo-Tank by Drake, as well as more infantry. A couple more infantry units there. Battlecopter, infantry, infantry, infantry. Does spot some of these units there. Good strike there. Neo-Tank heading to the north, but keeping his concealment. The recon does spot to all the way over here. Could have gone the far side here, but needs to be followed up in the next turn as a possibility. And with a prime tactics or terrain tactics, either units Lash could cross over some forests pretty quickly. Drake, of course, can pop a tsunami if he so chooses. There's an entry unit there, and starting to threaten some of these other properties. Battlecopter's pushing down south. Drake does have battle cover, but firepower is horrible for him. Interior battlecopter infantry. Good shots there. Does hit the interior. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Gets a good first strike. And does manage to get the superpower and pops it immediately. It's generally a superpower you want to pop as soon as you can. You also can blind Lash for next turn. After all, you get minimal vision range. Lash does, of course, have a lot of reduced vision range right now. Good strike there on the tank, knocks it out. It's an infantry unit there. And do have a prime tactics now activated. Hits the battlecopter. Battlecopter sacks itself. Hits the battlecopter. One health anti-air does finish off. Tank does get a good strike then. Tank hits recon. In range the artillery though. Hits the infantry unit there. Hits the infantry unit there. Artillery, infantry. Of course, she's probably spent a lot of repairs from the tsunami or typhoon. Artillery does finish off a tank there. Could have gone for a better target there. Could have got more damage on this one. Either way, tank will hit it. Infantry hits the infantry. Hits the anti-air there. Lash does one battlecopter in the region. Another battlecopter heading down south of the winter. Hits the anti-air and knocks it out. Got the artillery here spotted, but nothing to hit it. Nor can the artillery hit anything. Tank, infantry. Insert 127,000 field. Lash right now has 93. Tank infantry. Anti-air will take out that battlecopter. Nothing stops this anti-air in the region, so this battlecopter may migrate more rightwards. Kind of with the battlecopter here, who's taking quite a bit of damage and fuel loss. Multiple anti-airs across the region, which is perfectly adequate what we can see. Of course, there's our cast division. Drake does not have too many tanks over here. He's starting to get more reinforcing tanks in the field, as we've got another medium tank. There's another tank in recon. Lash overall is falling back. Many infantry units there. She saves 13,000 funds. She's going for something that's a bit expensive. Probably a good idea not to go for stealth versus Drake, because his powers and superpowers just annihilate what little fuel already has. Infantry, recon, tank, battlecopter. That's the infantry unit there. Spots that infantry unit there. but unable to finish it off. So artillery could try getting to that forest, but looks like it just moves forward one tile. And overall does pull back a nice defensive line there. Does take up the tank there. ATR strikes the recon and finish it off there. Neo tank connects to the tank up there, stays out of range of the artillery, and there's a good number of artillery up there. Infantry hits the finish off the infantry unit there. So some of these guys are in the forests, so it's not actually too easy to spot over here. Recon switch forward. Rangers taking a nice defensive formation over here, but has a good number of tanks. Well, Lash just has a number of battlecopters as well as some tanks here. Does not spot the artillery force. Will strike the tank there. Finish off the tank there, but of course the ETers in the region. Oh, Lash got for a bomb last turn. I have a harder time registering what unit she goes for each turn because Nora Black or Nora Eclipse it's just so dark, it's hard to see what actually gets built on the structures. It's camouflage, right? Tank, tank, tank. Triple tanks. There's another battlecopter there. I do have a terrain tactics as well as tsunami available. Infantry, battlecopter, medium tank. ATR. Tank infantry, keeping 4,000 in the bank. Takes out the infantry unit there, of course. Battlecopter gets struck. Tank does hit tank. Takes out the infantry unit there and there. Lash is losing quite a bit on the left flank. Neo tank takes the recon, but it's not going to get bombarded by some artillery. Of course, we'll likely see prime tactics boost them up as well. Well, next turn, there definitely going to be a tsunami. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Oh, Bolsa should just want to use the bomber to get the Neo tank. No, not one artillery does take it out. And here comes the prime tactics. Extra defense would be nice, of course. It will help with the capturing game. Well, it looks like it's going to be a bit more defensive. Doesn't get the boosted damage and strikes from the artillery all too much. This unit does go down there. Recon will spot nothing. Or just will engage nothing. Will spot more stuff. And do have now the Typhoon now full on the field. 2% 2 damage global. Quite significant. Right now Lash is 112 versus 187. The bomber, of course, is quite wounded. And probably will be knocked out by this ATR. Medium tank will strike the infantry there, but in range of all the artillery pieces. Does hit this one, as well as that one, so now the artillery is going to be a little bit nerved to hit that medium tank. With this artillery tank just slightly too far back, unable to range anything either, and the 3-off-1's pretty wounded, so can't get much damage done, and Lash has resigned. As Angrade saying, keep watching, and on to next replay. As mentioned beforehand, my back has been aggravated. I am going to end the stream a little bit